Okay, hello everybody. Well, I'm out in the backyard and it is May 6th, day before the new moon, and I am waiting for Mickey to join us. And while we're waiting, I will let you know that it has been a very technically difficult day. um, it absolutely would not let me share this to our Speaking with Kate group. So if you're listening live, you are watching it on my personal webpage. It was the only page it would let me stream to. I will, however, get this converted when we're done, and I will put it on Speaking with Kate, and I will, of course, get it on YouTube and get it on the website as well. Um, and I think today, it has been technically challenging, but it's challenging in other ways too. I have been finding more and more people are coming to me and they are depleted. They are giving and they are loving and they are sharing their energy and they're working with other people and they are not taking the time to replenish their own energy, the time to do some self-love and self-healing. And oh, Nikki is coming in right now. Hold on one second. Um, so people in ancient times took this time of the year during the new moon to set their intentions to, you know, this week is really a replenishing week where they rest and they get ready and they set their intentions and what's going to happen in the next cycle. And that's why we're here today. We're going to talk about self love and self care. And our meditation today, our journey today, is going to be a little bit of that. And I think we're going to do a little quantum jumping, but maybe we're going to go to the daisy pond today. We'll see. Now, Mickey, I put her in, but I don't see her yet. Oh, there she is. Welcome, Mickey. There, there's my girl. It
How are you?
I am okay. We are so you probably don't even know this, but we are not streaming normally.
Oh,
Yeah, oh yeah, I had major technical difficulties.
yeah.
Um, Facebook would not let me stream to the group today. So
Oh,
so it is streaming on my personal page, and I did put a note over there on Facebook. Oh yay, Audrey found us. Hi Audrey. Audrey found us. Wonderful. Um,
did you see the last message I sent you on Messenger about the link I sent?
yes, I did.
Okay. All
I
right. So we don't know how that's going to affect anything, but I just
I do not.
tried to, announce that we are on. So in case
We
it,
yes, we
so,
are on, and if they go to Speaking with Kate, there's a link there that comes back to this one that says where it's going to be live. So, and I explain the technical difficulties. I have no idea what they are. I just quickly, not that quickly, it took me 5 minutes to figure out what to do, but I thought out of the box, did a workaround, and
all kinds of stuff. I guess I anticipated that I'd be a little slow today. As I said, I hadn't slept, and I was pacing myself and my time. And then once I sat down to actually get my things on and get ready, all kinds of other stuff happened.
oh,
So it's that kind of day,
it is.
It's that kind of day, and I've not even seen the face I put on, so I don't know what I did.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. But
And
maybe a bit much because I mean, I was flying. I did it all in 10 minutes. I'm
oh,
telling
you look just beautiful. And I'm outside, so we
you.
may
Yes.
hear car sounds. I think I have a little bird family living up there in my
Oh,
the
in the
little
heat.
in the under the eaves. Yeah, they're very protected in there, and I've been hearing people sounds and whatever, but it's kind of nice to be sitting outside. It's a nice spring day. How are you, Mickey?
good. I'm, so to speak. This is, well, we anticipated it. We mentioned it last time. We said to expect the unexpected and to brace yourself. Well, I'm about as braced as I can get, and I'm still catching a whole bunch of stuff. So, but it's varied. You get the tiny little thing that, oh, isn't that wonderful? And then you get, oh my God. And then you get, oh, but that's okay because this. And then you go, oh God, I didn't expect that. And it's wonky. It's
It
back
is
and
it is wonky, yes.
and
And
when
it's
you
and it's
uh,
everybody. Like
yes,
I am hearing about it from all over, all different kinds of
yes,
people, different beliefs, and they don't understand exactly why.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, the topic that you and I discussed yesterday when we were talking about, well, what are you going to do? And I was saying, oh, well, it's already come in and I know what I'm going to do and blah, blah, blah. And it's very weird because the exact words I gave you to start with, I have now seen on 6 other websites.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody today is talking about my tagline, and it was the exact same tagline.
Okay.
Now, to further explain, there's a site that I see every day. I'm a member of it, so they post about 10 times a day, and I'm just so tickled because it's about 3 of my favorite scientists and woo-woo people.
Yeah.
That's great. And I see it all during the day. It lifts my spirit. And today's very first post was a great big photo of Seth. And I'm like, what? I had no idea why I liked her so much. I just
Wow.
know that the guy who was doing it, he's representing these 3 scientists and doing the site for them. I had no idea that he was a fellow Sethi.
Okay.
So I just tentatively posted on there and says, well, I won't do an ad for somebody else's site on his, but if anybody's interested, we're Sethis too, and we're about to go on air. So if anyone wants to join us this time or another time,
Yeah.
just DM me, put a message in my messenger and I'll be glad to give you the link. But I'm just tickled to find out that someone else is also on the same page we're on because I had just come from YouTube where I discovered 2 other of my favorite scientists who are running around talking about you create your own reality.
Yeah.
So
That's a very famous tagline
everyone,
today.
everyone's saying it now. Everyone has agreed. Look, we are spiritual beings that are having a short earthly existence. We're not humans who are having a spiritual experience. It's the other way around. Everyone accepts that whatever's on your plate, you cooked it up in your own kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's very heartening to realize that, okay, first of all, it means I was on the right track for 50 years, even though no one else could stand it. I mean, all those years when people were ready to commit me for saying it. What do you mean we create our own? What are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. And the Lord said, if I hear that one more time, I'm from a family of grandfather was a minister, dad was a minister, my brother is a minister, my mother and my grandmother were missionaries. Do you have any idea how far away from that edifice I have gone? I mean, I'm screaming like if anyone waves the Bible at me, I will burst into flame. I just know.
All
So
right.
to see 50 years later that everyone is saying, you know what we found out? Yeah, yeah, I've been trying to tell you that for years. My buddy Seth told me.
Absolutely.
Blah, blah. So seeing the evolution of what Jane and Rob and Seth were doing, to actually see it play out just as he said it would.
Yeah.
He said, this is going to take a while, but you need to start working with this idea and start working on yourself. So I'm so happy. I mean, I know I'm babbling, but it's a babbling kind of day.
But before you got on, I started telling everybody how people seem to be very depleted, and this is about a time of self-care and self-love. And you just said it. It's taking care of yourself. It's knowing that yourself is on the right track, and everybody's self is on the right track. There can't be a wrong track. It's your track, right? So we should just make it as pleasant as we can.
Well, the phrase, the famous phrase now that I'm seeing all over the net today, what I wanted to bring to you today, what Spirit said to me was, and I quote, "Who do you think you are?" I thought, oh God, that's evocative. That's people are gonna think I'm not shaking my neck while I say it. I'm just saying humbly, who do you think you are? Not who do you think you are? But
Exactly.
the universe wants to know because of our thing of creating our own reality. And it dictates that the whole universe and their experience of the whole universe, not the universe is, but our little one is waiting for instructions. That's the whole bottom line of you create your reality. Yeah, you do, but you got to have a lot of help from your friends. And I don't mean earthly friends, but the thing is, you cannot even begin. All this stuff we've been saying, do this, create that, go to your levels, go to your workshop, go to your chair and on your screen. And none of that means a damn thing unless you know who you are. You cannot fix something you're unfamiliar with. You cannot say, I have a fairy godmother who's going to do anything I ask, but you don't know what to ask because you don't know who you're asking for it for. Oh, of course I know myself. I'm such and such a number of years old. Doesn't mean a thing. Do you have any idea who you are? Okay? Be relentless and be truthful. Look in the mirror and say, who are you? What is it that I want? Actually, truthfully, what would I like to see happen? And you can start on it as soon as you define it. So today, that's the message. That's the thing of who do you think you are? Stop and take as long as it takes 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, a year, 2 years, but start today with look in the mirror and ask in those eyes, who am I? And then in parentheses, you can add, this time, because we
And
do have all these nows.
we do. And don't forget to tell yourself how much you love yourself.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah.
Well, you've got to define who the self is before you can declare how much you love it. You love what? It's all going to ricochet back. It's all going to loop and come back to who do you think you are?
Yes.
Well, find out. Tell yourself who that is. And I don't know about you or others, but there was a point in my life when I had to walk away from it all.
Uh-huh.
As I defined myself and figured out more of who I wanted to be, I started to realize how diametrically opposed it was to the whole situation I was in,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it didn't go over well for years.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a point where it came back around when folks really started to realize who I was trying to be, then they had less yada, yada, yada to say about it because they had all lived long enough to realize that they wanted some of the same things. But
Right.
it took a lot of courage
Yes.
to walk
Yes.
away and say, I can't do this while I'm listening to your negative stuff.
Right. And for me, it was quite the opposite. I didn't come to this understanding until I was in my late 50s.
Wow.
So I was very mainstream Catholic, and my life just started to fall apart. And when the Seth material was brought to me, It answered so many questions. It rang so true to me. It took me quite some time, to put it into place. But, when you look at, you, Mickey, you've been studying this for 40, 50 years.
Yeah,
I've been studying it for a drop in the bucket, and I now live my life this way. And
yeah,
I'm not really on a lot of Seth's sites. I got away from them for various reasons. But in my own teachings, it started out with Reiki and Burt Goldman meditation. So it went from healing to meditation to self-love, and here I am now. I've put all these pieces together, and this is a part of me sharing what I've learned, and Mickey is agreed, thank God, to share what she has learned. And it was through Seth. Actually, it was Seth first, but then it was Burt Goldman that connected us.
yes. Isn't
Yeah.
that interesting? Well,
And it was the year that he passed away.
right.
Yeah.
Any two people can look at their relationship. Sorry, I dropped my mouse. Anyway, you can look at any relationship in your life and come, and as you examine that relationship with the other person and talk about the day it started, how we met, et cetera, et cetera. How did I arrive at this spot? And everyone is going to come to that same conclusion. It just came out of nowhere. Just, oh, wow, this has happened. You didn't know up to the very second that now manifests. But once it did, you were, oh, oh, this has happened.
Yeah.
It may not have been something you consciously said, I want blah, blah, blah to happen. But knowing that at that moment, this new thing has manifested in your life and you're now going to deal with a different timeline.
Ac-
Fun.
That is such a good point. I love that. And, even Seth said, if you don't find joy in what you're doing, he says, take that flashlight of intention or focus and just shine it somewhere else and
Yes,
focus on something else. And, I woke up this morning and everything felt way off. And I've been trying to move that flashlight, but then I go back to think, well, why am I feeling this way? And I'm trying to reflect on things. Well, Seth said, just stop that. Just put the flashlight somewhere else and just change your feelings just like that.
yes,
You don't
yes,
have to, constantly figure everything out in your brain. Just focus where you want to be. And we are here. My belief is that we are here to experience emotions and events of being human. So feel them. Don't try to analyze them or try to, figure them out. Just focus on the happiness part of it. I don't think that any of us were here to be miserable. We came
no.
here to experience joy and love and compassion.
I think our shrouding of the joy and compassion may indeed include some of the misery that we're going through. But the misery is a reflection, it's a shadow. It's like when you color in the lines, well, you got to have the lines to know where to put the paint. And you know what I mean? As you're defining something, well, here's a sketch of what I want my life to be. And then you go about putting color into these areas. You go
Right.
into trying to enliven certain aspects of what you want. But that may involve some misery.
Right.
It's
Well,
not to
because
say that we're just going to reflect joy, 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 joy. We're here to examine a certain experience. And the experience of this, here's the report that you send out and up, as they say. But we're here to report if you do it like this, here's what happens. And then if you don't like that, then you can also, from here, you can move to here and here and here. We don't all have the same jump off spots.
hmm
We don't all have the same options of paths we can take. We're not here for those other ones. As we bitch and moan about, well, I wish I had so and so and so, and you aren't here for that.
right.
You're doing what you're here for. to work within what you gave yourself to work with.
Right.
You know,
So last time you talked about the point that you see as being a string and there's both ends. So
right.
when we want to see the joy, well, we have to know the other end as well. So that's why we live in this duality so that we know what those are. And
Yes.
we don't want to put the flashlight towards the misery. We want to put the flashlight towards
Right.
the joy. But you need
Exactly.
to know both to, or experience both to know where you want to go next.
Right. We're just feedback units. We're here to help God realize who it is by if I'm like this, well, if I manifest like that, well, if I make a person who sees it this way, what does that have to tell me about existence? And that's what we're doing, folks.
Yeah.
It's not an ego trip. It's not the me. It's about the whole me, all of what I am. And I am everything.
Yes, we are.
We're
Each one
little
of us.
satellite units.
Yes, we all are.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to welcome Kim on. She is
Oh,
saying
hello.
good afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
So happy. And I've been seeing little thumbs up and love bubbles coming up as we've been talking.
Oh,
So
have you?
so there are far more people listening than I can see. And I love that too. I love that. Yeah.
Well, this is a happy place,
It is. It is.
except for when it's not.
Well, once we get the technical difficulties out of the way, it's a very happy place.
It's
You
a
know,
happy place.
last time, if anybody had their eyes open during meditation, I had the candle on the screen and it went down and it went down and it went down until it disappeared. It fell right off the screen.
Well,
So
I didn't know until I went back and saw it again.
yes, but that taught me how to fix some other things.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
with each weirdness that happens, I take a step into new learning, and it increases my tech abilities to be able to, I don't have a technical guru that's sitting here doing this, that, and the other thing. It's me, fellas.
Yeah,
Every time I put my hand up, this thing thinks I'm trying to talk and raise my hand. It's
that
it,
is
I
funny.
I don't know if AI is in Zoom or whatever, but oh yeah, I put my hand up and it
It's
immediately goes,
everywhere.
huh?
It's everywhere. That thing you're
Yeah.
talking about, we've talked about before. If I'm talking to my
Yeah.
daughter or talking to you, and I do something like this, all of a sudden this bubble comes up with
Yeah.
a thumbs up in it, and we've taken screenshots. I've got about 20 of them to say, "What is this?"
Yep. Yep.
And then one day it morphed into something else where it put a mask over my face, and I
Yes.
couldn't get it off. So that's very strange.
Well, for those of you that use Zoom or don't use Zoom either, I now see on my bottom of my screen all my little tools, and there's a new
Yeah.
tool this time. It's right here where my finger is. It's called AI Companion.
Oh, really?
and and it's two stars, one big star and then a little star in its upper right little
I see it
corner.
too.
You see
Oh,
it too? Yeah. I
yes.
have never seen it before. I don't know what it does. Let me click on it. Let's see what it does.
That's what I'm doing. Clicking it.
Can you see that? Oh,
Yeah,
it
ask
doesn't work.
admin to enable
Oh,
AI companion.
all right. I'm going to enable it too. Well, this is just AI Companion is on. Well, I have no idea what that's going to do, but we'll see here in a minute.
What a
Oh,
day.
Oh, welcome to AI Companion. Here are some things you can try. Catch me up. Was my name mentioned? What are the action items? So I don't.
We'll have to play with that when we're offline.
We
Yeah.
will. So I'm just going to close that for the time being. So yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So anyway, AI Companion is now on. And I am so sorry, people. I am out here and I don't have a cough drop, and I think the my allergies for the past 2 days, the lilacs are all in bloom around me, and my allergies are in full bloom. I took something this morning which makes me drowsy, and so I'm doing the best I can here.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much. I'll be all right. Oh,
Tell your AI to bring you that.
I know. Bring me a cough drop. So I heard today on the astrology places that Pluto has now gone retrograde. Now, Pluto is the furthest planet away, which takes the longest to go around the sun. Does that mean we're going to be in retrograde forever?
No, not forever. No retrograde is forever. And
Oh,
that's in life as well. Nothing goes backwards forever. Everything has a way up. And it's just all about, well, this period that we're in, Pluto is doing a lot of things, and going retrograde is only one of them. I have not looked at it today or yesterday to see how long the retrograde lasts. However, like you say, it's the furthest planet, it's the slowest. It takes 247 years to go around the whole sun. So we have a long time of having it prominent in the now. And that's what's giving us all this up and down, because it's making an aspect to the planet of goodness, which is Jupiter. And I love that. That brings lovely stuff. But I'll tell you what the other side of it is. Everything has a positive and a minus. Okay.
absolutely.
So with Jupiter, for instance, oh, it's the planet of goodness and good fortune. It's the planet that brings you all the while. You win the lottery, you get the girl, you blah blah blah. So what is the negative side of the good ho 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 Santa Claus? Claus spends he's with you one day of the year when he brings all the presents. You know where he is the other 364 days? He's in the gym trying to get all that weight off. It brings a whole lot of whatever. All right. I have Jupiter rising. It's, Sag rising, and that's the Jupiter influence. And for the first 15 years of me studying astrology, I was in my early 20s. So I was like, well, I don't know why everybody laughs when I say I have Jupiter rising. Well, you don't look like it, blah, blah, blah. Because I was a quote normal size. However, Jupiter rising gives you heavy thighs. All about it. So um, the Pluto thing is that it causes us to feel pressed by some things. It's going to force you to, well, I shouldn't say it's going to force you. You have ways of reacting to the Pluto energy that mean you're going to feel as if something's pressing on you and it's causing you to do something that you may have put off for decades. Okay. Um, the tale of it is that he's the king of the underworld, and he stole Persephone from her mom Ceres and blah blah blah, and he only lets her come back up out of his underground for a few months of the year. So hence we have springtime. But other than that, she's being coerced and she has to be underground in the dark. Okay, so we get these days in the winter when it's gray and ugly and there's not as much sun and blah, 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 blah. So that same influence is what we're going through right now. Now, when you say it's retrograde, it means not that it's doing anything bad as opposed to what it was doing good. It just means it's doing less good than it would have been able to do. Retrograde is debilitating in the sense that the energy is blocked. Whatever the energy is, it's trying to do what it's supposed to do for its particular planet, but it gets blocked and it can't bring you as much of the good side of things as it would have done. Okay, so that was the same thing with Mercury's retrograde. Communications is screwed
Right.
because your ability to communicate, it rules communication, but your ability to communicate gets all muddled up and backwards and so forth. So I will do some additional research on Pluto, which is something that's part of something else I'm doing right now. But we're in the beginning, folks. Don't even worry about it right now because we've got a long time of dealing with what Pluto's up to right now. It will
That,
be.
yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Decades.
Yeah.
So it's going to wobble around in that loop of what it's trying to do for a while. Right now, the thing we can do to prepare for all that's coming down, because see, let me put it this way, almost all the planets are in one spot.
You know, I noticed that I have an app that's called Planets, and I was looking where is the moon, and when I saw it, it was to the west. Of course, it was under the horizon,
Yeah,
and all the planets were boop 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 right in a row.
right. Now
Right with the sun. Yeah,
that
yeah,
clump
yeah.
is not going to always be off to the west. That clump will rise up and over and further over, but they'll stay in a clump. Okay, so what we're dealing with is this is why I've been slightly evasive about what Pluto's doing because it's doing everybody at once. It's a planetary orgy. Hard to figure out who's grinning and who's not
Uh,
because everybody's doing something.
they all do seem to be in bed together.
They are. It's a planetary orgy. And as a Scorpio 5 times, I am cackling about it. But
Of course,
I'm
this is
going to
being
behave for
broadcast.
this
This is being
broadcast.
broadcast on my personal site, of course.
So
Uh-oh. Well,
I'm not going to give you all my personal reactions to what's going on, but
if
I
if
think it's
fa-
hilarious.
if Facebook turns me off, then we'll have to look at it on YouTube.
Right.
And don't you worry, we'll get it up. Oh my gosh, this is
Oh, did you
hilarious.
say that?
This is hilarious.
We'll
Hello.
get it up. That's
Hi.
Pluto. Pluto rules Scorpio.
Okay.
All right. And that's what that's what this is all about. All of your sensitive energy, all of your energy that makes you want things and try to do things and so forth. This is all the stuff that's getting titillated. Now, what I was saying before about all the planets are in one spot.
Yeah.
It's hard to separate what one is doing from what the others are doing because it's like when you have two groups of best friends. Now, you and I are good best friends, but all of your friends are not going to resonate with me, and certainly all of mine are not going to resonate with you. But the two of us have a wonderful, blessed alliance.
Hmm.
It's just that in order to describe it, one would have to include those other people in your life and say, and she has this, this, and this going on. And in my case, too.
Hmm.
But you can't separate it all. So that's why I'm being slightly evasive because we have a lot of influences that are all absolutely locked together right now, and each one's doing its own thing.
Right. Well, if you look at us and our energy, our light body goes out some 7 miles. Well,
Right.
imagine the size of a planet, how far out theirs goes, and
Exactly.
and they're all in each other's auras because they have auras just like we do. Uh,
Yes.
so they're all intermingling at different times, but not each one is intermingling with all of them, but all of them are together in some way. Yes.
Well, the idea is how in your crew of friends and people in your life, your the roster of folks in your play, okay, your cast,
Hmm.
it's not going to necessarily get along very well with mine. However, whatever it is you and I are saying about our interplay, they're going to have an opinion. They're going to be pulling your coat and sleeve and saying, you shouldn't take that. You should say this. Oh, if she had said that to me, I'd say that. So you have these groups that are all interacting according to what their own agenda is
Yeah.
and their agenda concerning you.
Hmm.
And that doesn't mean that they're going to mesh with each other.
Well,
But
Mickey, let me tell you, they all love you. They all love you.
thanks. That was a nice, that was your better self helping you edge me on. But I'll have to That's why we look in the mirror and say, "Who are you?" Because we've got to know what the soft edges are. The shoulder of the road that's softer, so you don't put your wheels on of your car on that soft shoulder. You stay away from that because it can cause an imbalance that'll flip everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want all three wheels beholden to the one that's on the soft shoulder. Um, you have to be careful. If you don't know that the path you're on has soft shoulders or that there's a 700-mile drop, then you don't know to stay away from that edge.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's all we're trying to do here is let's all see the edges. There are many of them I don't see, but if you do, you can help me realize that I've gotten too close to the soft shoulder.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay? And that helps me course correct.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we're trying to do for each other.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
It's an amazing thing to try to do together.
it is. It is, and that's why we have a tribe. That's why we are
Exactly.
together and
Yeah.
why we do these things.
Yeah.
How are you guys out there in Facebook land? Audrey, Kim, anyone else? Anything you want to add or ask questions about? I think everybody's very quiet on there. Let's see, we've been on for a little over half an hour. A little over half hour. And it was tough getting here, and as far as I know, Mercury's good. So the technical difficulties, Facebook changes things almost daily
Yeah.
as to how, things work. And we only do this every 2 weeks, and so I'm always surprised to see what have they done now.
It does change, but then that's reflective of the life process, isn't it?
It is. Sometimes I'd like a little warning, but whatever. Audrey says she's tired. So,
Okay.
what can we do to assist you? Actually, the journey we're going to go on will help that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, we'll send you some energy. I know I will.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, how's everybody else doing? How you doing, Kim? This has been these last 2 weeks. There have been in my life, in my circle of friends, nothing has been personal to me, but there have been deaths, sicknesses, just general wonkiness of people choosing to leave, people choosing not to leave, people choosing to lay back, people choosing to, go out and be the spokesperson. It's just there is definitely a push to complete whatever it is that you may have started. I'm seeing that in all kinds of people right now, and many of them are coming for some assistance, asking for energy, and I think a lot of it is because they are depleted, because they want to step up and help so much. So I'm hoping this journey, which will have some healing in it, will be beneficial for everybody that hears this. And whenever they hear it, could be 10
Yeah.
years from now, it'll be the exact right time for them.
You will hear it when you're supposed to,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
only then. You
Yep.
know, I
Yep.
visited um, a recording on YouTube just yesterday, and I was so shocked when I looked at the comments and then realized the comments were saying 9 years ago, 8 years
Ah,
ago.
yeah.
What? I had no idea.
Yeah.
It had come out then, but I didn't need it then. So
Right.
I ran into it when I should.
Right. And
And
it's so
complete.
funny because many of the same groups that you and I are on, I do not see the links that you see. Like,
Yeah,
so I have to assume that the links that I'm supposed to see come in the right time,
right.
or some good friend of mine points it out.
And vice versa, yeah. Because
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
run into all kinds of stuff. And and I'm just so grateful, like especially when we do our little Burt thing and we do the meditations together And I will often hear things that he said before, back even when I knew him, and I hadn't even remembered that he had said it or done it. So when stuff is decades old,
Yeah.
you forget a lot.
Well, he, like Seth, said so much. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a lot. Like the things that Seth said and talked about, Bert put into applications.
yeah,
And so what Mickey is not blatantly saying is we listened to him the other night, and the very end there was a Q&A session and a woman asked about healing, and his answer was, I want you to go out and buy Seth Speaks by Jane Roberts.
right.
And I was blown away. I had no idea that Burt Goldman knew Seth or knew of Seth. I knew that they were both putting out their information around the same time that Jane was channeling. Bert, however, lived much, much longer than Jane, and he taught up until 2019. And that is the video that Mickey and I were watching. And he passed away that next year. And what was he, like 96 years
Not,
old?
I
I,
don't know.
I'm not exactly sure. He was definitely in his 90s, though. And
Yes,
he
he was
taught
past
from the time he
92,
was
I
in
know.
his 20s.
It's amazing, really.
It really is amazing. And, I encourage everybody to at least read Seth Speaks, Nature of Personal Reality, and the Seth Material. Those
Yeah.
three books, and the rest of them are wonderful too, but those three books are just so important. And then any of the material that you can get your hands on with Burt Goldman, and you can find them on, oh my gosh, you can find them on YouTube. There is a little bit on the web, and you can purchase things through Mind Valley.
Hmm.
I just think they're wonderful. I own four of his seminars.
Modules, yeah,
Yeah,
seminars.
I bought four different ones that I do all the time. I mean, but many of them you can get on YouTube, short clips of them, like the Daisy Pond is there. I know I've posted that link before. I will post it again. And I think the journey, we may visit the Daisy Pond, not the way Bert did it. We'll do it, but we'll go to that same location, I think.
It's just so interesting to notice how many sites actually have this set underpinning.
Oh, yeah.
People who are on the air now saying, guess what? Guess what? We can help you do this. We can help you do that. You can, did you not know how to do so and so? Come over here and we will show you. And then you scratch deeply enough and discover they have a basis in Seth.
Yeah. Even if they don't know it.
No, but I mean the ones who know it and eventually speak on it and
Yeah.
they quote him and such. And you didn't realize that when you got involved, because several times people says, well, I like this, but I don't really want that. I'll just study this. Now that happened to me. I had run into a site and a person who was channeling and talking about what reality is on the other side. Everybody was talking about, oh, you got to check this out. You got to check this out.
Hmm.
And I had no idea that it was also based on the Seth wisdom, you know? And then now it's 40 years later, and I'm suddenly running back into this person that's so popular and discovered that, oh my God, they've just talked about Seth. And that was the Bashar channeling.
Yeah.
I didn't care for him at first. And I was, well, I'll just stick with my Seth stuff. And then now that I'm decades older and know more, now I have more things that I can understand about what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now when I listen to Bashar, I'm sitting there going, yeah, right. Yeah, 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 right. You got that up.
Yep.
And I caught myself and says, my God, you've come around. He didn't come around. I did.
Yeah. Well,
I had to grow enough
that's
to
what I was going to say.
understand what I had run into.
Yeah.
It's not that what I ran into was wrong. It's that I didn't have enough evolvement to recognize it when
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that happens a lot.
Yeah, we're all growing. Right in the beginning, I learned one thing, then it led to something else, led to something
Yes,
else. When the Seth material came in front of me, one of the things that was brought up was it's so hard to understand parallel lives and doppelgangers. And I'm like, I do that all the time. Burt Goldman
right,
taught me how to do that. But I had no idea. I didn't think about what I was really doing. I was just following his meditation. And it's like, oh, now it all makes sense. And actually, Burt had words and teachings for things that I was told to do even in Reiki that didn't
right,
have words for them. But
right,
but the concept is out there in all these other healing modalities. Bert gave a real meaning to why you were doing things. And I am a why and how type person. I like to know all the reasons why I'm doing something.
right,
And the teachings that Bert gave were just amazing. And you learned through Silva mind control,
right.
mind method.
Yeah. So Silver Mind, well, Jose Silva, you had all these contemporaries. You had Jose Silva, you had Werner Earhart, you had Shirley MacLaine, you had Ramtha, you had Esther Hicks, you had all of these folks who
Mm,
had gone off in their own particular vector and pathway, and they're all shining a light on the same truths, which I love the fact that, like when Seth said, the speakers are there and have been there for thousands of years. And they put these things out in the guise of whatever way you needed to hear it. So they're all covered. So we can't sit there and compare one religion to another. Well, this one has the right way and that one doesn't. But they all have their own particular way of addressing the reality we're in.
yes.
Okay. And we have to come to the point where we understand our own well enough to recognize the truth and wisdoms of it whenever we see them, no matter where it is.
Hmm.
Okay. And that's when you back down off this ego trip, the spiritual, I wouldn't even say spiritual, the religious
Yeah.
ego trip.
Yep.
Okay. And then you have more, when the mix is more spirituality and a little less religious, and that mix works for me. I don't know. Other people may love having all the ritual and the ego trip of I have the only way. God isn't that limited. It's an affront to the Holy Spirit to think it has only one little way of doing anything. Look at the earth.
That's almost insane to for a human to say God is limited in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's getting scary because the folks who are holding on to the don't do this and don't do that and you mustn't say this and you mustn't even be around those people and all of that's coming to a very abrupt end. And my little tongue-in-cheek advice is you better turn that crap loose because you will go down with the ship.
Yeah.
It's time to realize that that ship has a great big hole in the bottom.
Absolutely.
Don't go to the basement for cocktails. You'll be
Yep.
sorry.
Yep. So we've said a few things, but haven't connected them all. But basically, I heard Mickey say that God is unlimited and that we are God.
Exactly.
And
So then we're unlimited.
we're unlimited, right? So that's where the you create your own reality comes into
Right.
play. And, create the reality that you want to create, you
We
know?
don't come here and agreed to pretend we have certain limitations just for the script.
Yeah.
We're the playwright writing the script. We've cast it. We've decided what the scene has to be on the stage, what all of those things are. But that has nothing to do with how unlimited we really are. We're the writer. We can write it any way we please.
Right.
We don't quite accept all of that. We have accepted that we're creating our reality, blah, blah, blah. But to literally think you can create it anything, we haven't gotten there yet. Okay. I know my own limitations I'm not going to be a size 8 tomorrow, but That's not the
Why
scripture.
not?
Okay, exactly. Why not?
Why
So
not?
there are things that my own awareness has to learn to understand and embrace
Yes.
before I can realize, completely realize that part of the wisdom of you create everything.
Right.
Okay. But that's because I agreed to do it a certain way this time.
Eh,
I
Yes.
promised to only look at it through this vector. I'm this person looking at it like this. So now I'm working within the structured play that I wrote. Now I can do edits,
Mm-hmm.
I can totally rewrite, etc., etc. But the thing is, as the author, I'm the one who has to do all the edits. No one else can,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So the trajectory of what audience I'm going to draw at the performance is based on what I believe is possible.
Yes.
And I'm working on that.
And everything is possible. See,
Everything is possible.
that's the part that we have been taught since birth, that everything about us is limited. And
Yeah,
that is the part that we have to come to terms with, to
lie.
realize there is no limitations. And what some of the things that we think are just hard fast fact just really aren't. And each person has to wrap their head around their own belief system.
Yes.
And Seth helped with that so much. Like, yeah.
This is such a huge thing to learn. Okay? It's simple. Yeah, it's simple,
It is.
but it's big.
It is.
And we've taken on a lot to see this view of things at this time in history when it's not the norm, when everyone on the planet doesn't agree. Now they've had 2,000 years to create what we're looking at now as religious thought and belief. But they've been working on it 2,000 years just for the one. Just if you're just examining one particular religion, there are others that have been working on it for 10, 15,000 years,
Mm.
etc. Then you have all the really ancient civilizations, the Sumerians and so forth, who worked on just the same thing we're working on, but they did it thousands of years ago. They're not even still here. Let that be a lesson to you. you know, but it's all coming in waves. They come, they see, they conquer, and they gone. so, but
So
that's the nature of
I'm
it.
I'm curious to see how the generation that grows up with the Seth teaching
Yes.
fares. And I know a few, well, they're adults now, but I know a few people that their parents from birth, well, their parents studied the Seth material, then had their children and brought them up with the Seth teachings of
Right.
you create your own reality and you are unlimited. And every one of those people that I know, and they're probably in their early 30s at this point, late 20s, early 30s, they are very successful people. And there are no limitations in their life. They travel the
Exactly.
world, they are successful, and they are kind and generous and very forgiving, loving people. And some of them, their parents are still alive. Some of them, their parents have passed. And I've met the parents as well. So, I mean, it's lovely to see what a human being can be like when they were never given limitations. Well, I
Exactly.
mean, yes, they were taught that the stove is hot, don't touch it. you know, but they were never, their creativity was never shunned or never, made light of.
They were never told that that was the only way to cook it. That
Yes.
particular stove. I mean, if for you to say, I'm going to go get a new stove tomorrow, you suddenly have to pick among 4 or 5 different ways to cook. You see, so we didn't have those options when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember electric burners being a big deal and new.
Oh,
Okay, that tells you how long ago I was a little kid.
well,
But
I only ever knew gas. I didn't learn,
right,
I didn't even know electric burners existed until I moved here to New York as a 22-year-old woman.
right. But that's what I'm saying. Now you have to go with the. I mean, I looked at the idea of that stove now, where everybody has where it's all one sheet of glass across, and you can just
Oh,
wipe it clean. And
yeah?
every time I'm standing there struggling with cleaning my stove around the burners and the da 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 da, and
Yeah.
I thought, you ought to try that.
Yeah.
But I'm very hooked on the idea that the only healthy way to cook it is with the gas. I gotta understand that's an opinion.
Yeah, it
And
is.
opinions are just like buttholes. Everybody's got their own. Okay, they're all different. They are what they are, but they're all different.
Yeah,
So I've got to understand that my feeling that the gas is the healthy way. I'm just reciting a bunch of crap I was told by a bunch of scientists who felt gas was the only way. They're not going to
absolutely.
tell you they had hundreds of shares in propane gas, but in natural gas. But
Right, right.
there are other ways to do anything.
Absolutely. And there's
Okay,
ways to do it that we haven't even heard of yet, but
never
they
even tried.
exist in the universe. They are there.
Yes. I mean, even the fact that scientists nowadays are speaking about the universes.
Yes.
All right. I saw one the other day by a scientist, a physicist, who was saying, you should specify when someone was talking about the universe. And he said, well, do you mean the universe or our universe? Because there are trillions of universal bubbles that are a whole universe, but there's trillions of them.
Yeah,
So it gets more and more
it
complicated on one
does.
hand. And it doesn't matter whether you go up or down in terms of size, whether you're talking about outer space or whether you're talking about microscopic things inside the cell in your body. The cell inside another system, that the cell has these parts and stuff. And it's like a little town in there.
Yeah,
Okay, all the little bits inside the cell each have their own agenda and what they're supposed to do to keep it all running. And you wonder how much they're aware of us, the greater them. They're inside us. They're inside a little system. It's either your arterial system or your muscular system. Or
mhm,
do they realize they're in a system? Do they realize that system's inside a bigger system? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you go down in
yeah,
size or whether you
yeah,
go up,
yeah.
infinite.
It's all right, exactly. And all of those little bits have their own consciousness.
Exactly. Exactly.
But
Now, I was presented the other day with the idea. I was very opinionated as well about AI. And I'd love to bitch and moan about, oh, it's taking over. Oh, what's going to happen when they're deciding whether we get to live or not, and blah, blah. And then I heard these two scientists discussing the fact that, artificial intelligence is not artificial. And I thought, whoa, I never thought about that before. And they're saying that there's a point in our awareness of how to create artificial intelligence where it will also include consciousness. So it's not going to be artificial, but so long. So we have a whole other way of existence that's starting to emerge.
and I don't look at it as artificial in a different set of terms. It didn't just manifest as artificial. It is programmed by humans, which have
Exactly.
consciousness, and
Exactly.
so it's human consciousness, human intelligence collected. I
Right.
guess. Yes,
And it has to be God because everything in existence is.
that's right. Everything,
It was hard to swallow that.
everything.
It was hard to swallow that.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yep.
I'm working on it. But that's a
Yeah.
good way of looking at it.
Well, I started out being real excited about it, and then I kind of got fearful about it, and I'm shifting back to the being excited about it and accepting it now. And everybody has to make their own decision.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's all about what kind of humans are we going to have that are dictating how it evolves. It's all about, again, work on you. Those who program it, those who deal with it, those who discovered it, need to be of a certain kind.
Yes.
And that's the part we can work on.
Yes. Nice.
So, where are you taking us today?
Well, I think we're gonna go visit the Daisy Pond.
Okay.
I think we're gonna do some self-healing while we're there, and I don't know what
Excellent.
else. We'll let arise what arises.
Okay.
Are we ready?
I think.
All right, so you and I need to stop our video. There we go. Now, all I need everybody to do is just sit in a very relaxed manner. Make sure your head is supported, so if you do go very deep, you don't jostle your head and bring yourself out of meditation. So just have your neck supported. And let's take a deep breath in and out. Take another deep breath in and out. Now I have my feet and I'm sitting outside and they are on the ground. They are sitting on the earth. And wherever you are, just imagine that earth energy coming up and meeting your feet. Feel the tingling even in your toes as that energy of the earth touches you. Let's just sit in this for just a few moments, few seconds, feeling the earth touching your feet, or just imagine that earth is touching your feet. And feel that beautiful energy of the earth. And start pulling this energy up into our feet and our calves, past our knees to our thighs, past our thighs to our hips and our buttocks, up our spine, all the way up the spine till it reaches the heart space. Now let's leave that energy sit in our heart space. And now concentrate on the top of your head, your crown. And imagine the energy of the universe flooding down through that crown into your central channel, through your third eye, through your neck, and on down to your heart space. And in this heart space, we already have earth energy. Now we have universal energy as well. And just let those two energies meet and mingle and do a little dance. Feeling the love of the connection of both the universe and the earth. And we're just going to let those energies reside there. And we're going to go into our 3 to 1 count by breathing in deep. And on the exhale, visualize and say silently to yourself, 3, 3, 3. And again, inhale. And on the exhale, 2, 2, 2. And again, inhale and exhale, 1, 1, 1. Beautiful. Now visualize that you are standing at the top of a staircase, and at the bottom of the staircase, you will be in your heart space, where all that energy is just mingling and dancing and enjoying their time there. And that's where our meditation room is, and our lab, and the quantum door. So by standing at the top of the staircase, visualize this. There is a handrail to your right. Hold on to that handrail and feel it. It is smooth. Yours might be metal or it might be wooden, but it is safe and secure. So hold on to that as we go down the staircase, slowly, one step at a time, standing on the 10th step. Down we go, 9, 8, deeper and deeper, 7, 6, going down deeper still, 5, 4, deeper and deeper, 3, 2, deeper, almost to our heart space, 1. We are now in our heart space, the most sacred place, the place where we are safe and we are secure, and it is always warm and loving here. And looking around this room, just feel the energy that is located here. The energy is the universal energy and the earth energy. And they are meeting in this place, inside of us. The universe is within us. The earth energy is within us. Now looking around, I want you to either visualize and create a beautiful door that is our quantum leap door. And you may have a door already, or you may be creating it right now. But do that. Create your door and then stand in front of it. And as when we do quantum jumping, we always set an intention first. So our intention for this jump is we are going to jump into the area where we could go to the Daisy Pond. And this pond, there is healing water and healing animals and healing plants all around us. So we're just going to intend that that is where we're going to go. We are going to see, smell, visit all of the healing objects that we need. So I'm going to count to 3, and on the count of 3, the door is going to open outward, and we're going to be able to walk over, jump over, leap over, fly over, whatever feels right to you to get to the other side. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. The door is open, and we are going to cross that threshold into the area where we're going to find the Daisy Pond. So as we cross, it's a beautiful place. It's a spring day. The sun is warm. The grass is green. There are flowers growing. Take the time to just take a deep breath in and smell the flowers. Smell the smells of new mown grass, freshly mown grass. You can hear the creek that is next to us. You can hear the water rushing. You can smell the earth and the water as they touch. So we're just going to keep walking straight ahead, kind of following the path of the creek, and we're going upstream. Not very far. You see there's a little wooded area as we cross that area, and beyond that there is an opening, and yes, we can see the pond ahead of us. And this pond has a huge daisy in the middle of it. Therein lies the name of it, the Daisy Pond. Now, this water is healing, and you can breathe in this water. Now, you can choose to lay on the bank of the pond, or you can choose to get in the water of the pond, or you can choose to just set yourself on that huge fluffy daisy in the middle of the pond. It is all up to you. But know, in this place of the daisy pond, this is a healing place. And you choose to have your own healers join you. Could be your higher self, could be your doppelganger, could be an animal that is very healing for you. Whatever you choose will be exactly right for you at this moment. And that doesn't mean you can't change it or another being could enter. Just know that it is healing place exactly as you need it. And remember, we have universal energy flooding in our crown, and we are connected to the earth. So, all the energy we need, we just have to allow it to come through. So, whether you're laying on the bank, or swimming in the water, or sunning yourself on the daisy, I am going to give you about 5 minutes to do all the healing that you need to have take place. And all of your guides and angels, the beings of light, can all be with you at this moment in time. And take your time. Now feel the healing. Feel your body being replenished and refilled with beautiful light energy. Energy from the universe, energy from the earth. You are filled and it is complete. Thank all your healing guides, your healing angels, your healing beings of light, your higher self, your doppelganger, whoever was there to assist you in this healing of filling your cup, filling your heart space. Thank them. We have such gratitude for these beings that show up for us, that give us what we need when we need it, when we ask for it. I am so grateful for each and every one of them and each and every one of you that fulfill my life. Now notice what's around you. Did little animals come around to visit with you? Are they curious? Are little fishes coming around because they're curious? You can interact with all of these beings as they are very friendly. The little fishes would like to swim with you, and the little animals would like to play with you. So choose whether you're going to be on the land or in the water, and enjoy these little beings that have come to assist you with play. It is so important for all of us at any age to be playful, to look at the world through child's eyes of wonderment and joy. So whether you're swimming with the fishes or you're running around with the bunnies and the deer, or even yet, you can fly in the sky with the birds, right? In the place of the daisy pond, all these things are possible. Maybe you want to be on a safari and be on an elephant or a camel. You can do that too. In this place, you can choose to do anything you want. You are only limited by your mind and your choices. And we know as creations that we are unlimited. Maybe you even want to travel further out into space and visit the stars and the moon and the planets. You can do that too. Because here in our quantum world, we can even breathe through space. So I'm going to give you a few more moments to just enjoy whatever scenery you have chosen for this journey. Ah, but alas, it is time to come back to that quantum door. And it doesn't have to be anything quick. You can take your time. You can just start heading towards the door. You can dry yourself off if you're in the water. Make sure you thank all your little animal friends, or the stars, or the planets and moon. You can join them again anytime you wish. You can walk slowly back to our quantum door. Gathering right outside. And while you're still in your quantum world, just feel all the feelings that you have, the feelings of safety and love, compassion and joy, playfulness. Your imagination is wonderful. Smile to yourself. Know who you are and what you are capable of. And now I'd like for you to step through the quantum door back into your meditation room. And when I count to 3, the door will be closed. 1, 2, gathering everybody up. And 3, the quantum door is closed. And we are now in our meditation room, in our heart space. And we can look in the mirror that we have in that room and look at ourselves and know who we are and why we are here. And smile and say, I love you. Now I would like for you to take a deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. And I am going to count from 1 to 5. And on the count of 5, you will be wide awake, eyes wide open, feeling wonderful, like you've had a wonderful nap. And you will feel good all over. Ready? 1, 2, coming up very slowly. 3, coming up nicely. 4, maybe you're going to start to move around a little bit. Maybe wiggle a little bit, wiggle your fingers and toes. And coming up nicely, nicely. And 5, eyes wide awake, feeling wonderful all over. Well, that was quite the journey. And I thank each and every one of you for taking this journey with me. And I thank Burt for giving us these ideas to visit these beautiful places that are just a quantum door away. Thank you all. Whoa, that really was quite the journey. Whoa. Why, hi, hello there, Miss Mickey. Wow. Well, as usual, Facebook says that our live stream ended. I have no idea if it did or it didn't, but we're still recording.
Yeah.
Oh. Holy moly, I was in space.
Yeah.
Wow. That was quite the journey. And the energy was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel, oh, I can't even talk, feel like my cup is full now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we obviously are still live because Audrey just said nice.
Yes, it was.
How do you feel, Audrey? Did that help you with your tiredness? I hope so.
I think it's amazing. Before we did the meditation, when you
Yeah.
first mentioned that you were tired, I said so.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I feel very, very, very grounded, very Easy. Yeah. Yeah.
I see a whole lot of others out there, and so they're not necessarily showing up on your roster or whatever. Um, it makes me wonder too, am I picking up on those who will come and see it, or am I just picking up who was with us?
Probably both. Yeah. So Audrey says she's feeling very good. I'm so happy,
Oh,
Audrey.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah, and Kim, I sent you some energy too. But then I sent you energy yesterday as well, Kim.
Aw, I
Yeah.
love our little group. I
Yeah.
love our big group, and it's growing every day.
I have sent Kim energy 8 or 10 times
Beautiful.
because, yeah, when it comes up, when your feed comes up, I am reminded to send you energy. And it's all about adding, I want to consciously add to what she's trying to do.
Oh, nice.
Okay. The things that she has set are really ambitious, and
Mhm.
it's going to take a lot of help. It takes for people to wake the hell up and be willing to help with what she's trying to make us aware of. So, with that in mind, I thought about it and said, well, there are not a whole lot of things I can do from here about it, but what I can do is send you support energy so that whoever else out there is closer to you and can help will be pushed to do so. So
Beautiful.
that's how I was rolling, you
Mhm.
know. So hats off to you, Kim.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. Nice.
Before
Well,
we go,
yes.
can I tell you something that happened? I sat here and thought, well, should I say anything first or
Oh, yeah, yeah.
talk to her on the private first? Or, but the deal is this, because I'm wondering if anybody else heard it. Once you got to the pond, I experienced your voice as a chorale. Okay, it was not just you. You were like the front mic of a whole bunch of folks in a huge choir that were all saying the words you said.
Hmm.
So I could hear the other hundreds of voices speaking your words as you spoke them.
Wow.
So I could hear all of that echo of all those other voices who were literally listening and with us and helping you push the energy of what you were saying.
Wow.
Um, and I thought, oh, that's just a glitch. And it kept on and kept on. And then I thought,
Hmm.
oh, this must just be an effect of some kind. But no, I started to hear it more and more and more and realized that every word you said was being spoken by a whole cacophony of other voices.
Wow. I wonder if that was recorded that way.
I'm wondering too. I
Hmm.
don't know if it was, but it blew my mind.
Wow. Audrey,
First
what
time
did
I've
you
ever
hear?
heard
Wow.
that. I can only hear a slight echo on the edge, that the last second of each word, the last half a second, you could hear just a slight echo. And I started wondering, what is that?
Huh. I do not know.
So I just thought I'd tell you.
Wow.
You spoke for many this time.
Wow. It felt like there were a lot around us.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Huh.
So I'm just saying, I just put that out there because that's what I picked up. And I heard it
That is
over and
very
over and over. With
interesting.
every word, I heard it.
Yeah.
And as you started to leave the pond, it stopped.
So it was only at the pond.
It was only at the pond.
All right. Well, this is going to be interesting when I put this together and I pull the meditation out. I will see. Interesting. But I'm glad that they were all there speaking to you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm glad too. And I wonder, it'll be very interesting to me whether I'm the only one who heard it or not, because there were a couple of other little occurrences. Some of the folks that showed up at my pond to offer healing support took my breath away too. So, no one I anticipated. I
Okay.
was like, what? What are you doing here? Well, you asked. Really?
Oh. Well, so Audrey said she had a lot of beings around the pond.
Mm,
Okay.
yes.
Well, now I'm very interested to like do the work.
I
And
know. I know.
Nikki, are you sure about this? You're just trying to get me to work.
She wants us to talk among yourselves while she disappears to go and play back.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, we've been on for an hour and a half.
Yes, we
Like
have.
I just can't even believe that. When I
No,
after the 5 minutes I opened my eyes and I saw the time and I'm like, oh my God, how long have I been here? Wow.
it's just like that.
Yeah.
It's just like that. Once we start the count, it's timeless.
It is. It is. And even hard. It was hard getting in, um, but once that happened, and it wasn't just me. You had a hard time too.
I
Um,
do.
I can't tell you. I probably turned Zoom off and turned it back on again 3 times, thinking it was the Zoom Facebook connection that wasn't working right.
Oh,
And then I finally decided to give up and just do what Facebook wanted because it's all we can choose to do anyway, you know.
interesting. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I may switch to doing this on live on YouTube. That's how I used to do them way back when, but they don't go live on Facebook that way. So it would have to be a different kind of a organization like prior.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Maybe we should try that next time. We'll see. We'll talk about it.
So this was amazing and interesting.
It was interesting. Like I was surprised that I ended up in space.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Now you have to keep still.
I don't know if it was a bee or if it was, I think it was just a fly.
No, it was a bee, but
Oh,
the
was
idea
it?
is that you do not move. Everybody starts to do this. Well, that excites them, and then they're in a survival mode.
Yeah,
So you don't want them to think, "What's this big thing coming toward me?" No,
right.
you
Well,
stood still.
luckily he left.
You
Yes,
just came for meditation.
he did. He did. There's been all kinds of things around me, but yeah. All right. Well, I want to say bye-bye to everybody on Facebook and YouTube and the website. And Mickey, it is always a pleasure to join with you twice a month.
and you, and you,
Thank
and
you.
thank
Thank you
you
so
for this.
much.
Goodbye, everybody. Love you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.